What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Explain It podcast. Thank you guys if you're on Instagram Live with me. Let me bring this in here. Excited for today. I had planned on doing this with Ingryd and Joshua Meyer, who has over $2 million in real estate properties. But Ingryd decided to go hike Lake, what is she doing? Havasu Pie Falls, which is super cool, but she has limited internet signal. So not a bad deal, but anyways, I'm just going to go on here. So I was going to this morning, what is it? Go to my YouTube and I will help you guys out. So I'm on Instagram Live as well. YouTube has live on YouTube. All right, let's make sure everybody understands this. I'm just going to turn this into a Q&A and kind of talk to you guys about some stuff and help you out. I'll give you some sauce. Bruh. And get after it. Havasu, yeah, it is such a cool hike, John. What's up? Whoever's on Facebook, I can't see your names because you haven't logged into the LinkedIn. But let's see. Ingryd says she sent me the information on a Google Doc. Let's see if I can find it. Google Sheets. Let's see if she's got it. Okay. Stop texting me. Okay, let's see if I can get it. Boom, here we go. Let's see if I can get Josh on here. I'm going through the 90-day short-term rental challenge about signing your first lease. That's exciting. What is this? Get this to open up and invite Josh over. Let's see. Joshua. Yep. All right. Whatever. Not on here. Not a big deal. Let's keep it moving. Podcast is going a little different. This is where you just deviate and go on your way. So anyways, we're going to talk about pre-foreclosure stuff and door knocking because that's what I've been doing. So this entire podcast is getting hijacked and I'll probably run over on time. Joshua, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I don't have your phone number and I can't find it. We will make it up and we'll change it again. Anyways, everybody's on here. What's going on? Terry Brown, my man. Hello. Hope all is well. Can you give me the name of the book for your challenge, Cam? I can definitely help you out with that. I'm ready to do my first deal meeting with an agent tomorrow to discuss options. Okay, sweet. So let's talk about a few things here before we start doing any deals. This is important, guys. And actually, I'm going to just go over a few things. So I'm going to just talk about pre-foreclosures and I'll talk about the challenge that I'm doing that you guys can join in with. I'm actually going to do it again. We are currently doing it. If you guys don't go to our Facebook group, so if you go to my Instagram, you can see my Instagram is right below my name on YouTube here, TheCarolineCain. You can click on the link tree. And you guys can see my Facebook group. It's called Rise to 75 Challenge, and it's called the Explain It podcast, or just called Explain It, which is what our YouTube podcast is called, and that's what our Facebook group is called. Within that, you guys can join us, communicate with us. I have that group just so we can talk with you guys and help you out. Thank you, May. May's on Facebook right now. May, would you throw that on my Instagram? That'd be incredible. Oh, you're so sweet. May's incredible. So with that, let's talk about a few things. And I kind of went over this morning in the daily dial that I do, and I think this will be helpful for everybody that is watching. Sales is going to help you in your life. If you guys can be a good salesperson, you are going to be able to get deals like anybody else. You're going to be able to level up in whatever part of your life that's important to you. So what books am I reading that you're asking? One, I'm rereading Rich Dad Poor Dad. Special life hack. If you guys do have Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's great. I just bought the newer version at Barnes & Noble. This one has the updates for today's world with 9 study sessions. So you guys can see that. Rich Dad Poor Dad, the newer version. The reason why I like this is because there's, because there's study guides at the end of each chapter. Now, I'm just curious. Everybody is, what's up, Ra? Man, I got all kinds of people on here. I'm just curious for the people that are on here right now, and maybe I'm alone in this, and this is something I've been asking on the Zooms that I run. Does anybody else have ADD, or is anybody else kind of like have 14 thoughts going on at once in their brain? Okay. I'm one of those people that will read a paragraph and I will be thinking about what I'm having for dinner and how I'm going to cook it. And I'll completely ignore what I'm reading. My eyes will be going over the words, but I'm not comprehending what I'm seeing. Is anybody else like me in this, or am I alone? heard a few people say that they're kind of similar to me, but I'm just did not know. Me. Okay, cool. All right, sweet. So thank you, Taylor. Appreciate that. Sometimes Facebook user says, okay, cool. So life hack, if you have, okay, Ross says, great. That's the story of my life. Okay, cool. This will make your life much easier because I used to have a lot of like imposter syndrome and issues within myself. I used to feel like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. Something with ADD, this is what I've learned through lots of therapy, is we just come in like super hot, excited about things. Connect 4 is my new jam right now, hyperfixating on it. It's a ton of fun. But I get excited for something and sometimes I have a hard time finishing a task, okay? Or I get distracted and I get shiny object syndrome. And this is very, very important. Shiny object syndrome is going to butcher your dreams. Shiny object syndrome is going to keep you from getting to whatever your end goal may be, all right? I don't want you guys to lose sight of what's important to you, and I want you guys to win. So what I would tell you guys, and this is actually something May did this earlier, and a bunch of people on my Zoom with me did this earlier too. If you have kind of same thoughts like I do, okay, you're like, never been diagnosed with ADD? Yeah. I suck at retaining info and I have to slam it into my brain. Okay, great. So we're not alone in this. John, I've been there. I've done that. You want to be on my podcast with me today?
Yeah, I can.
You can grab a chair. You don't have to. With that being said, I spent $3 on a package of Sharpies. I have where's that pen at, May? I have a pen. When there's super important things, I highlight it and then I underline it again. I'll add like a $ sign to my book. And then I'll listen to thank you very much. I'll listen to the audiobook at the same time. It helps me out a ton. Also reading the book live. Now, in the Rise to 75 challenge that we are still doing, we will be done January 29th, I believe. July. There's a J month. Who cares? With that being said, we will be done end of July. Give us a few days, and then we're going to start it again because I want to just keep inviting people out and helping everyone. And I'm leading into, I know we're on the runway for a little bit with this airplane. Wait for me. I'm going to get us off the takeoff here. But I've had so many people that are in like the SubTo mentorship with me and just in life that have been like, Caroline, thank you so much for giving me tips on ADD. So I'm thinking of doing maybe just another little series about ADD and some tips that have helped me. But the one thing I will say with our Rise to 75 challenge, one of the first books we read, what was the first book that we read that you were so excited about and you could not wait to read with everyone?
No, that's not true. But the first book we read was Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So if you guys have not read that book, let's get you in the shot here. If you have not read that book,
stop this and share my Instagram story first.
What won't work when I'm live. If you guys have not heard of David Goggins, he is a guy who did not have a lot of self-confidence, was around 300 pounds and hated his life, was working as an Ecolab exterminator. And I read the book before I'd listened to it. I listen to audiobooks, but I listen to audiobooks and I multitask. So am I actually retaining anything? I'm listening to it, but the way my brain works, I hear it, it's great. But if you guys did not know this, it takes us 7 times of hearing something before we can actually make sure that we comprehend it and we understand it. So with hearing something 7 times, I'm just doing a better job of retaining it. So John, I'm looking at you and everybody else that thinks the same way that I do. Hearing it 7 times really makes it go into my brain. I can absorb it. I am good to go. So with that book, Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins said it took him a long. He wanted to pass the ASVAB so he could become a Navy SEAL and try out to be a Navy SEAL before he could become a Navy SEAL. And he spent 8 hours a day studying because his entire childhood, he had cheated through school. Okay, because he wasn't smart enough. Mm-hmm. And he developed a stutter. He's dyslexic. I'm a little bit dyslexic. I had a really hard time. And when I was bad at something, I felt bad. I cheated through school. I had friends that helped me out. There's certain things that I didn't understand. And I felt like really big imposter syndrome. Like, dude, calculus, I remember taking, not my thing. Okay. So when I read that from David Goggins, he was just like, if you have weaknesses, try and turn those into strengths. And I'm saying this because I want you guys to figure out what are your weaknesses. Take a moment and sit right now. What do you feel uncomfortable with? What are you not good at the moment? What are your weaknesses that are holding you back from being where you want to be? I realized I don't retain, I see Ingrid's got internet signal. Hi, Ingrid, I'll pull you up here. But I noticed, where are you? I'll continue talking about this. What are you doing so everybody knows?
I'm in a janky hotel called Caverns Inn out in Nowhere Land Arizona as we go to a really, really big trip called Havasupai Falls. So my Wi-Fi may not stay steady,
You're
but
okay.
yeah.
I'm hijacking it. We're going to bring Joshua back on another time. His phone number is not in our contact sheet. So, yeah, it's okay. But I'm just going to take this over because people were asking about the 75 day challenge. So I just wanted to let you up. You're on vacation. We'll talk with you later. Is there anything that you want to chat about before I let you get back to hanging out with your husband?
Yeah, no, that's all. I was just concerned that so I'm surprised because it's a required field, but okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, well, it's not on the Google sheet right now. So I didn't see his information.
Okay. Well, have fun, enjoy, and I appreciate you taking over.
Yes, no problem.
Hi, Ingrid. I miss you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So coming back into, I had to write it down so I didn't lose it. Study more. I realized with David Goggins, he said, if you have a weakness, turn it into a strength. And I realized I was trying to compare myself to all of these people who can pick up things a lot faster. So May, for example, straight A student her entire life, super, super smart. It takes you like no effort to pick up things. She can read something and comprehend it really fast. I don't do the same. I have to read something a few times. Actually, I may read things sometimes. I'm like, what did that say? But with Connect 4, I've been kicking her ass.
Yeah,
I have been
dusting the floor with
Bro,
me. It's embarrassing.
She's been so mad. Like,
No, I have been.
she's rage quit a few times. It's okay. It's okay. I can't read as fast as you. I can't do math as fast as you. I have one skill and you're slowly getting better at it.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I have won a few times.
Yeah. But I say this because I just can't pick up things and comprehend them like you. So if you guys have a weakness, don't worry. It's not the end of the world. And take your time to study it. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Well, so I was a special education teacher before I started doing all of this. And a lot of like my pedagogy which is like the way that you teach, is just building on like student strengths. And so for example, like with you, if you were my student, hypothetically, I wouldn't have you do like a lot of like reading comprehension things, but you could still you could watch a movie and show me that you understand concepts that way. Like there's different ways to get the same task or get the same skill, just with a different avenue. But I'm still like testing the same thing. It's harder to explain than
say it one more time.
So there's several different avenues to like test the same skill.
Okay.
So, for example, like that one picture where it's like a fish, a monkey, a alligator, and then it's like, okay, climb a tree. Like, obviously, not all of them are going to be able to do that.
I've seen the pictures. Like, not everybody has the skill of climbing. Like, a fish can't climb the tree, whereas a monkey is built to climb trees. An elephant doesn't have opposable thumbs. I remember I've seen this picture before.
It's that. So, basically what I'm saying is there's different ways to test the same skill, and you can do it in your learning style. So
different strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I can do a very paper pencil, and you're very hands-on.
Yeah, it's a good point. So with that being said, what I had figured out is I'm not like everybody else where I can just pick things up, and I need to take more time to actually study things. So I went back through. I wanted this to be one of our things. So there was people that are not in SubTo that are doing the challenge with us that have no real estate background. So I went back through Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Again, I'd recommend getting the 25-year anniversary because there's study sections in it. And I used to look at books as kind of like trophies. I didn't want to write in them. I didn't want to ruin them in case I lent them out, which I never did. And now I'm just like, no, I just paid like $15, $20 for this book. I'm going to tear this thing up and I'm going to add notes that make sense for me. So I would recommend when you buy books and when you're trying to comprehend stuff, understand what your learning style is and just become a master at it. So I know I need to take more time to read things. We were sitting down and reading Sunday night, and I read 12 pages in the time it took you to read 2 chapters. Now, to be fair, I was highlighting and taking notes and you were reading a book for pleasure.
Yeah.
And I was trying to understand like a freaking encyclopedia. But like, if you look at this Rich Dad Poor, I've like highlighted specific things. I have like, in the indentions, I have little notes, and it's just helping me really retain stuff. So John and everybody else in here, I just like know what your weaknesses are and turn them into strengths. And yeah.
Can I share a tip on reading books that helps me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So right now I'm reading The Power of Now. And one thing that I used to do with books that I haven't done in a long time, but I just started doing again recently, was I like have it sticking out on the front, reminding me what I'm supposed to be learning. So when I pick up this book, like I'm first reminded that like through the power of now, it's going to show me what is false about my reality and false about myself, and then also free myself from my current mind and enlighten my state of consciousness. So I know the purpose of the book. So it's not like I'm just, reading it for reading it. Like I understand what the goal is while I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. How often are you looking at that before you read?
Every time, because I pick it up, it's on the front of the cover.
Okay. So are you taking notes when you do that?
Yeah, I have.
Through the book?
I have I'm backwards. I put sticky notes in there, and I do highlight a little bit. See, I'm backwards. But yes, I do make notes in there.
Okay.
But having that like cliff note of this is what I'm learning in this book, this is the purpose as to why I'm reading it, is a good reminder.
That is a great reminder. And I want to talk on a few things that I see in the side chat here. So Weezar said, I procrastinate too much. Dude, I find myself procrastinating when I'm overwhelmed and I know I should be doing something. And it's made my life more digestible for me with ADD and therapy and reading self-help books have helped me a ton, and doing like the Miracle Morning, writing down the top three priorities that are going to help me move the needle forward towards my goal. So every day I kind of write down like what's like has to be taken care of. So yesterday, May and I, sometimes we just manifest and drive and go look for the houses that we want in the future. Saw a house that was for sale by owner. It's not listed anywhere. I had the conversation with him today, and I wrote down that I need to talk with this guy at noon today. Now, had I not remembered that and written it down, I probably would have gotten distracted and busy with something else. Another thing that helps me a ton is having little alarms go off. Did your alarms go off today?
Yes, they did.
How was that? So let me hang on before everybody understands. We talk about your alarms. I told everybody on my Zoom, and May was next to me, and she brought me over some breakfast. But on my phone, I just pull I'm in your brain, Leticia. Well, Leticia, you and I got the same brain here. Okay. So what I do to give myself freaking like grace and not be mad at myself, I've set alarms up on my phone, and I challenge you guys right now, pull your phones up, set an alarm, and have like 3 or 4 alarms through your day. So maybe it's 20 minutes after you wake up. Maybe it's 15 minutes before you go work out. I recommend you work out in the morning. It really helps you a ton. But what I do is I have an alarm that says, go over my annual goals. Mm-hmm. And I had one today. What I said this morning at 1 o'clock every day, I get tired because my day starts at 5 a.m. So at 1 o'clock, I had to do 10 jumping jacks and go over my affirmations. Did that. It helped me out a ton. I would recommend, and this is what works for me, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say, set 3 alarms through the day when you know you have a moment. I know at 1 o'clock I get tired. Have it give you that trigger to remind you to go over what's important to you. So when you feel like deviating for what's going to help you move that needle forward towards your goals that are going to give you the freedom you want, or taking you away from the process that's going to help you get to the end goal, because you have to fall in love with the process of doing the uncomfortable things where you're not good to become that version of you that you want. So I'd recommend take it out 3 times, label the alarms to go over your annual goals and see how it works. So today was your first day where you've had alarms go off. What time are your alarms, and what did you do?
So my first one is at 5:45 a.m. and it says go over goals, and I have a cute little goal emoji. My next one is at noon, and it's something I'm reminding myself lately is that I'm special today. I'm good today. I'm as much as, we are working towards a goal, my self-worth is not determined by the lack thereof in the moment. So that's what my alarm at 12 o'clock said. And then I have another one at 5:30 tonight to remind myself to write down 5 wins of the day.
So what would you do at 12:30? You're special. So did you?
It was just an affirmation that reminded me I was special. And I put all of these as like my favorite song ever. It's just like an instrumental, but it's it also just makes me happy because I'm
a little dopamine hit.
My song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So guys, try it out. Do it for 2 weeks. Do it for 2 weeks. You like it for 2. It really takes 25 days to get a habit going, but do it for 2 weeks and try that. Nice. Okay. So John said that he sets alarms too. Reading wise. Yep. That's what I do. All right. Let's see. Got to read things multiple times and rewatch all the videos. My mind wanders off. So Adriana, this is another tip that I really enjoyed for myself. And this is somebody like, guys, just rip off and duplicate. Take what you want from this podcast and what's going to work for you, and apply it to yourself. So I had one of my friends tell me this one time, because I struggle active listening. I want to listen, but if I'm sitting still, I daydream. I am imagining what I'm going to say next. What's the next topic going to be, or wherever I'm going to go. And my friend said that to actively listen, they said it was a curse for them because they do it all the time, but they repeat what the person is saying in their head. And once I heard that, that just changed my life. I heard that at 28, and I was like, oh my gosh, I will never mishear what somebody's saying. As long as I am actively aware of it, I will hear what somebody's saying and repeat it. So with that, if you guys have a hard time, Adriana, watching something and actually knowing what they're saying, or like you're daydreaming, just repeat in your head what they said. So right now I would have said, just repeat in your head what they said. And my retention has gone through the roof. So guys, it's your book. You bought it. If you got it from the library, don't mess up a library book. But if you're buying books, they're your tools to help you learn. And like, I've looked at books a completely different way now since I got started. I'm actually reading books to like soak up what I can. And if you think about it, like all of like the most successful real estate investors I know have literally ripped off and duplicated what Robert Kiyosaki has said. Mm-hmm. And there's such a great blueprint for you to be successful in here. His audiobook isn't too bad. There's another book I'm reading right now. And I'm thinking of maybe even just doing a little YouTube series on it, because it's been so helpful for me. Asking Questions the Sandler Way. This thing is fire. Straight up. I have been, it's starting to wear out on the edges because I've used it so much. Sales is going to help you guys with whatever, getting more properties, getting whatever you'd like. Okay. So Josh is on here. He did message me. So next week we're going to make up another day with him, and we're going to redo this podcast where we'll have Josh. So, okay. Sounds good. So thank you for being so flexible, Josh. With mess up on mine. I've never hiked Havasu. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Let's go back over to pre-foreclosures, and we're going to talk about the challenge. So what book are we reading right now as a group? We are taking our time, and we're really making sure that everybody understands Rich Dad, Poor Dad and all of the lessons that are in here. There's a lot of great takeaways. This is my version of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You just bought your own version of it. Have you cracked it open yet?
No, not physically. I mean, I've been reading the audio or listening to the audiobook, but again, I don't feel like I'm retaining as much as you, and I was jealous. So I bought
That's the first time you're telling me this.
I know.
Yeah. But do you think if you were reading it instead of listening to the audiobook, you would have retained it more?
Yes, I do.
Oh, interesting. So you're more of a visual learner than you are an auditory learner.
Well, it depends. If I'm actively listening. However, like it's just not as engaging of a story to me as like Can't Hurt Me. Mm-hmm. Like that was more of a story, so it was easier to like be engaged in the audiobook.
Yeah.
And that, whereas like there's so many visuals too that he's like, well, there's the visual, and then he's explaining it in the audiobook, and I'm just like, and my brain is short circuiting while I'm driving on the I-10 going 80 about to get cut off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alas, I have lots of work to do for more
see
being
you later.
myself. So I hope you guys enjoy your podcast. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Okay, so let's talk about the challenge in the books we're reading. We're doing Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We're almost done with it. We are going to be done. Actually, I needed to post everybody's homework for them. But we're going to be going over the cash flow quadrant next, which is another book by Robert Kiyosaki. I just think if there's already good lessons that have been made and put out there, why not use them? They're going to help you a ton. And what we are going to do is talk about asking questions the Sandler way, and then I'm going to answer a few of your questions about door knocking and things. But I can't remember who asked me earlier, what book am I going over? Right now we're going over Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Again, I recommend getting the 25-year anniversary. If you guys go to my Instagram, on my link tree on my Instagram, I have all of the books I recommend. You can click on them and see them. I put them on Amazon, and I gave like reviews. They're really good, but asking questions the Sandler way is a game changer for you. So let's talk about door knocking pre-foreclosures. In the meantime, let me see your answers or your questions over here. So Adriana said, door knocked a home going to auction on the June 27th. Lady opened and said that was her parents' house, but they are deceased. She would love to keep the house, but can't afford to keep it. Any recommendations? So great. This is important, guys. If you want to be good at listening to people and understanding them, you need to do a better job of asking questions, and you need to ask more questions. And in asking these questions, you will find out what their true intentions are with the questions they're asking you or the statements they're making. So she can't afford it. Well, if she can't afford it, I mean, I don't really think she can any of her family members help her? Is it she can't afford the payments, or she can't afford the back payment, to catch up the mortgage because it's behind? Because those are two different things. If she's not able to afford the monthly payments, how is it feasible for her to be able to make the payments on her own? Maybe she could get some roommates. This is another thing I'd ask. So when I go through this, I just helped a family here in Gilbert keep their house. And I'll talk about that some more. I talked about it on my Instagram Live. With the family here, they were $8,000 behind on their mortgage. Not terrible. We got the final, he got the most recent mortgage statement. It was $8,300. That's not awful. Now, if a seller is $60,000 behind, that changes things. So you need to understand how far behind she is on this. Adriana, I'd love to hear what you have to say on what her situation is. Now, if she can't afford that and the mortgage is in her parents' name, you can reach out. I'm not sure if she's going to be able to do a loan mod, but that could be a potential. I would say she should try and get some more roommates. I don't know where the whole situation is, but if she can't, you need to walk her down that. Okay, I'm trying to pay attention to your questions in the side chat. I'm not seeing any. You need to walk her down to the solution of, you're not going to be able to catch it up. You can lose this house and you can lose the equity that your parents have paid into it. And maybe she's also paid into it. She can list it. Now, let's say June 27th is the auction. That's in 6 days from now. Not really going to be able to list it. There's not enough time. And if it's a house that's in good shape, it's going to have to be with a buyer that's going to have pre-approved ability to buy the house from their lender. They're going to have to do an inspection. The quickest you can close a house really would be 10 days if there's no issues. I am going to assume no if she's not able to pay stuff. Typically people are behind and cannot catch up the loan and they aren't taking care of the house. So I would figure out some more on that. Adriana, I'd love to help you out. If you want to message me, I don't know where the house is, but we could talk about that a little more when you give me more details. I haven't seen anything else in the side chat here. When you are talking to homeowners that are in pre-foreclosure, the whole point is to go in and leave with value. It's nerve-wracking. Okay, here we go. Let's see what you said. She wants to move and rent something out in a city close by. Okay, so I have to follow up with her tomorrow at 2 p.m. because she said she didn't have a lot of info and her daughter could tell me more tomorrow. Okay. Time is of the essence. Adriana, reach out to me, message me on Instagram, and I will get back to you on that. Or we can talk about it now, but if you don't have more details, there's really not more I can do. But let me tell you about the situation that I'm dealing with some homeowners here. So, secret sauce. Reached out to a guy, first day of notice, and he was a little upset. As you can imagine, most people that are going through pre-foreclosure, they are getting hit up by everybody and their mom. This particular gentleman answered my message because I was different. Remember, when you go through this book, great chapters in here. There's one that's called When They Zig, You Zag. So don't try and sound like everybody else. Be a little bit different. And my message stood out where everybody else's didn't. And he was like, does this ever work? What the heck do you want? And I was like, I'm just trying to see if anybody's offered you guys any solutions. And I sent him over the document from the county saying that his house is going to go to auction. Well, he got confused and thought I was working with the county. I'm not. I'm actually just an investor. I help people keep their houses if that's what they want to do. What are you wanting to do here? Asking him questions. And he's like, we'd really like to keep the house if possible. I wanted to make a payment today, but they were not accepting it because the mortgage company had sent it out to the trustee. If you guys are not familiar with this, the trustee is just the attorney that's going to be auctioning the house off. So banks, if you did not know this, don't actually auction off houses. They hire somebody else to do it. Banks are in the business of lending money. Oh, okay. Give me a second. I'll answer your question. So anyways, I was like, okay, well, how far behind are you? He didn't actually know. He thought he was just around 8,000, couldn't find it. Got the most recent mortgage statement. And I gave him only two options. There's multiple ways I'd like to keep things simple because you have to remember, guys, a confused mind will always say no. If you overcomplicate things and it's not easy to understand, people are going to tell you no. They're going to say, no, I don't like it. And so last take, moving on to yours, we've paid it off. There's situations like that. Now, I gave him two options. One, I said, can you catch up the mortgage? So I'm saying the same thing to you, Adriana. Is there any way that you can catch up the payments that are owed to get the mortgage back in good standing, the loan back in good standing? Well, I have $3,000 that I could pay. His wife is out of work. She's going to be back in work in a couple of months, and she's going to be making $100,000 a month. Like, this is not a family that's going to lose their house. I wasn't nervous. $8,000 is not too bad. So the first thing you can do when you talk to people is say, can you catch up the mortgage? Can you have any family that can help you catch it up? He was also really ticked off because people had been reaching out to his in-laws. Guess what, guys? I was different. I didn't reach out to the in-laws. I didn't throw all of their information out there. And I am able to help this family now. Now, with that being said, he also was getting a ton of calls, texts, and people were like berating all of his family members, like immediate and extended. And then they started door knocking him. So I gave him some tips. I told him how to try and get the phone calls to lessen. I told him, to just not answer the front door, things that would help him out a ton to just avoid that. And the reason why he liked me, and he's given me we've had 2 phone calls. They've been really great messages. He sent me great texts. If you actually go to my Instagram, you guys can see my message with him most recently on my Instagram story or post. He said, "Thank you so much. I have to pay you. You've been such a calming presence with this. My wife and I have been so stressed out." I'm not going to take any money. My main goal at the end of the day, why I wanted to become a real estate investor, was to help people keep their houses if possible, or, help somebody find something that's affordable. All right. I was in the Army for 6 years. I want to help out veterans. I want to do the right thing by everyone. So with that, no, I don't want any money. I just want to make sure if you go in leading with value, I don't need any money. I just want to make sure that you guys don't lose your house and it doesn't ruin your credit. When you go above and beyond and you try and help somebody out, they're going to work with you over anybody else. I did tell him that I would like a Google review at the end, and I'm going to try and get a testimonial from him. But I went in with value, and I told him this happens to everybody all the time. There are over 500,000 mortgages in the United States right now that are in default, if you guys did not know that. So if you're new and you're thinking about investing in real estate, reach out to people that are in pre-foreclosure. Sometimes people can keep their homes. Sometimes they can't. But you just can't quit trying to help them. That will be the biggest thing at the end of the day. Don't quit trying to help somebody. You never know what may happen. And there's a few people that I've messaged at first were interested and wanted help, and now they've gone radio silent. They've ghosted me. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm just going to continue trying to help them. Lead with value, and the rest will follow. So anyways, this is the really cool thing. He's a firefighter. Well, this is the positive aspect of unions. I come from a blue-collar town. I'm from a big union city. When you have unions, it kind of has a little bit of checks and balances. Like when you have a specialized, I've actually talked about this in Rich Dad Poor Dad. When you have a specialized skill, the union is great for you because, like, my stepdad worked for a car business, and he was good at the wastewater treatment. He was specialized skill in wastewater, and he worked there for so long, he wouldn't be able to go anywhere else and make the kind of money he did at this factory. He needed the union to protect him because he was specialized in one skill. Unions will help you out. So this firefighter, they pay into their union will protect them. His union is able to pay. This is a tool to have in your tool belt. If you ever work with emergency responders, this is a question to ask them. His union told them, don't worry about this, John Smith. What we are going to do is we are able to automatically pay out $10,000. There is no vote that needs to be had. We're not going to say your name in front of everybody, and we're going to help catch up the mortgage. So did I really do a whole lot in this situation? No, but I was able to give him peace of mind and let him know that he's not alone. I was that person that told him this is okay. This is what you need to do. This is what you're going to be expecting. And I'm holding his hand through the process. I'm going to be getting a good testimonial out of him. And I'm going to ask him to spread my name around the firehouse and all of the other firehouses. Maybe even ask him to introduce me to more people. So when you guys lead with value, people want to go back and help you out because you've helped them out in their time. And like a really stressful situation. Could you guys imagine not being able to afford your mortgage? Only one person bringing in money for your family, and everybody's calling you and texting you and saying, do you want to sell your house? They're $8,000 behind. They don't need to sell their house. So keep that in mind. That was my little nugget I wanted to share with you guys. So EMS or anybody that's part of a union, ask them to use that tool. There's even counseling that's being provided for him and his family. All right, so let's go over to the other question. Where did it go? I've been door knocking. Last take says, I've been door knocking for a month. We paid it off, but it sounds like they're lying by their tone. How would you rebuttal that? So again, coming back over to this book, Asking Questions the Sandler Way, really good one. Today I talked to a guy, and I was helping him out. I reached out to him. He's probably going to start getting bombarded by people. And I said, hey, I just want to know if anybody's offered you any help. He's like, it's all good. I talked to the bank. It's taken care of. Similar situation of we've paid it off. Okay. So there's two ways to go with this, with the pay this off or we've taken care of it. Okay. Just curious. What did you do to take care of it? I want to know. So I have another tool in my tool belt so I can help more families down the road. Okay. First one. Second one, we've paid that off. Okay, great. Hey, just so I can wipe you from my mind, make sure that it is taken care of. Sometimes banks delay things. We had a situation where we actually bought a house, and our title company, when we went to title, instead of wiring the money, they actually used a check, and they mailed that check. And the check got there after the auction date, so they auctioned our house off, and somebody else bought it. I'm giving you a third-party story. I would hate for that to happen to you in this situation. Do you mind if I follow up with you in 2 weeks and just make sure the bank is taking care of everything? The last thing I want is for you to lose your home and for this to ruin your credit because of a clerical error on the bank's behalf. Does that sound the same of, okay, great, whatever. You're showing that you care and you're asking the question in return. So just ask questions. If people say they've taken care of it, follow up with, hey, what did you do so I can use this on my next family? So glad to hear that. Do you mind if I follow up? That'd be super good. Yep, Adriana, it sounds like somebody else that's door knocking. Okay, all right, I see some people are on Instagram. All right, so biggest takeaways. Let's see, what else can I tell you guys about? Are there any other questions about door knocking? The best thing I can say would be get the freshest, fastest data, door knock it as soon as possible, and then just continue door knocking. I pay attention to other people that are door knocking. Another one I like to listen to is Alexis Morgan. She's good. You guys know Michael Frankie's been on my podcast, our podcast. Find people that are doing it and just ask them what's working. At the end of the day, we can make this world, our communities even better by helping people. Not everybody has a bad stroke of luck. Jump in and try and add value where you can. I would say just continue following up. So yeah, door knocking yesterday, knocked the one door that said, do not knock. Okay. Texted them. I'm going to follow up and text people again today. See you later, John. And just continue. Don't be affected by what people are saying to you. There's one of the songs I would love. I don't know. We'll find out if YouTube's going to flag me for this, but, I don't even know if I can play the song, but my go-to song right now is, Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. So it's that song that says, I get knocked down, I get back up again. You're never going to keep me down. I get knocked down, I get back up again. Hype yourself up before you go door knocking. Hype yourself up if you're cold calling. Hype yourself up if you're texting. Hype yourself up if somebody's being rude to you. Like, shit happens. Life happens. Like, let somebody slap you in the face. Move on to the next one. Like, my favorite, I think we shared this last week on the podcast. Ted Lasso, one of my favorite little shows. When he gave some coaching to Sam. Sam got burned on a freaking play, and Jamie Tart went over and scored a goal. Ted called him over. Sam felt bad. He said, hey, do you know the happiest fish in the world? Or happiest animal on the planet? And Sam said, no. Who is it? It's a goldfish. A goldfish is the happiest because it's a 10-second memory. So if you guys reach out to people that are in situations of stress, that need help, have pain, help them out. When you go in and you try and serve others, it's going to pay you back tenfold. Okay? Just continue trying to help people and it'll help you a ton. So when you're door knocking, that'll be great. Will you re-door knock a list if 50% of the homeowners didn't answer the door? Last take just asked. Absolutely. You never know when people are going to be home. So I was texting one girl who went into pre-foreclosure, and I was like, hey, when should we talk? She's like, tomorrow afternoon, 3:00 would be good. Because I was like, tomorrow morning. She's like, no, or actually I was going to talk to her later that night. She said, I can't, I'm going to work. I don't get off of work until 1 a.m. So you just never know where people are. And they might be working in the night. They might be sleeping in the morning. They might be working during the day. They might be sleeping at night. You just don't know. So I would say you can change which time of day you knock. But yeah, you should door knock multiple times on the same door. Don't quit door knocking. All right. Any other questions? Yours didn't go off. I don't know what that means. Okay, cool. So some of the key takeaways I'd talk about from asking questions the Sandler way, understanding who you're talking to. So tone and pitch is very important. So last night, May and I were door knocking, and May saw a sign for story time here. May saw a sign for some Yorkie puppies. And how much fun would it be to go look at some puppies? So I'm like, okay, let's go look at some puppies. With that, the woman who greeted us, most interesting interaction in the world. You're welcome, last take. I don't believe that this woman was real, but I was testing. You're going to just continue practicing, guys. Like, this is the biggest thing. When you're door knocking, it's nerve-wracking at first. Just don't quit. If you guys don't quit and you continuously follow up, you will be successful in this. When you're reading this book and you're highlighting it and you're taking notes, just don't quit and start practicing this in your real life. So I would love, if anybody wants to would anybody want to hop up here and kind of do a role play with me? If you guys would like to, I can throw a link in the side chat and we can do some role plays and I can show you guys how to talk to people. Ryan, my man, thank you. I appreciate that. He said, make sure you like this live, please. Yeah, guys, if you guys would like, after the video, it would help me out a ton in the YouTube algorithm. Click the like button, maybe even just like save this as something you could watch later. Reply in the comments. Like, it would help me out a ton. I am just trying to build this YouTube and give more sauce if possible. But one of the most important things that I'm trying to practice is making sure that I sound good. And by sound, like when I say sound good, I mean, do I sound approachable? If I sound harsh and nobody can relate to me, I'm not going to do a good job relating with my prospect that I'm talking to. So making sure you have the right tone. So anyways, we went to go see these puppies because May wanted to go see a puppy. She's laughing in the background. This woman she texted you? Oh. Insane to say the least. Very interesting. Told me her entire life story, which I'm not sure is true, but I wanted to practice these Sandler tips. And I wanted to make sure that I was being present with her and I was asking her questions. I don't even know if I actually got to ask her many questions because she talked over both of us. But I wanted to act like I was engaged. And I noticed one of the things you'll learn when body language is like 70% of everything. So when you guys door knock, stand back, take your glasses off, look non-threatening. I noticed this woman was so into talking to me. I crossed my arms. She crossed her arms right after that. I lowered the tone of my voice when I was talking to her. She lowered the tone of her voice. So right now I'm using a nurturing parent voice. We always know there's two ways you can have your parents talk to you. Like when you fall down and get hurt and they're going to put a Band-Aid on your boo-boo, they're going to talk to you in a nurturing voice. That's really how you want to talk to people. Then you have the other one, which is like your critical parent, which is do as I say, not as I do. And you should have been on time. You broke your curfew, whatever it may be. So when you're talking and you're door knocking, just make sure you have the right tone when you're talking to them. It'll help you a ton. And this is just in life. I have used this. May actually saw this. We went out to dinner 3 weeks ago. This is my favorite thing about going out to eat or going somewhere. I like to use my sales training and I like to see what I can get with it. I was able to get us like extra chicken on stuff. They gave me extra little chocolate covered strawberries and like a free dessert they were going to throw away. Yep, you got it, Katrina. And it was incredible. It's so much fun. Once you guys get really good at sales, it's going to make life easier, but you should practice it everywhere you can. So I practiced it last night with this woman, and I got her to open up a little bit more. And she told me she had a bunch of properties here in Phoenix. So I was like, well, maybe. And May was like, she thought I was crazy letting her talk to me this whole time, but I wanted to let her continue going. And I was going to try and build rapport and figure out if they had any motivation or pain to sell anything. They did not. And it was just good practice. So you guys can practice with anybody. A really good one to practice with when you're trying to get the hang of things. For sale by owners are great. Okay. So Sandra just said, how you know the house you want to door knock? How do I know which house I want to go door knocking? So Sandra, what we're talking about here is door knocking houses that are in pre-foreclosure. So you can get that information from many resources. The best place to get the information and the data, this is very important actually. When you're getting data, you need to have good data. You need to have fresh data. So getting it directly from the county is going to be the fastest and freshest data. So going straight to your county recorder's office, being kind to the people working there and asking them where you can get that will help you a ton. I wouldn't say you're looking to stop houses going to foreclosures, so you want to be able to buy those. Where can you find the information? And then you go over and try and contact those people and help them out. So, yeah, that'd be my biggest takeaway. Continue practicing sales and door knocking them. Okay, let's see. Henry just said, while door knocking, I disqualify the expired listing because the HOA doesn't allow renters, low or no equity VA loans. Should I go back and see if anybody else would like it? Absolutely. Maybe you could just find a wrap buyer. A wrap buyer would be like your homestead buyer. Maybe they can't get approved anywhere else. Why not, Henry? Is it affordable? Like, what is, like, there's so many ways that you can try and do something. I wonder where that is. It's interesting they wouldn't even allow renters. All right, one more question. Last take said. This is this mentality question. How do you reset from a rude homeowner so it won't affect the door knockers, the other doors I knocked? Any tips, because it feels different from a call? It is. It's tough. And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, sometimes when I have somebody who's super mean to me, it's really hard. And this is one of my favorite things that I had from talking with Michael Frankie and, you know, talking with Pace and so many other people. If you know, like, the people that are most like hurt and like jaded have been burned before. And that's why they're so aggressive, and they're like red sellers or they're drivers. They're just like, don't hurt me again. I've been burned. I don't want to be burned again. So what I would recommend you do, listen to that song. I'll throw it in the side chat for you guys so you guys can have, I'll throw it in the side chat so you guys can have it. This is the song that I listen to when I get bummed out. Boom. There you go. Throw on your favorite jam, listen to it, and hype yourself up. But remember, at the end of the day, you are going into this trying to help somebody. So if you just keep saying that, hey, I know you're getting a lot of people knocking on your house. I know you're getting a lot of phone calls. I really am trying to help, and give a third-party story. You can even, guys, I will partner with you on stuff. I will talk to your sellers. I will help you out if you're looking for your first deal, I will help you. Bring me somebody who has a problem. Let's solve it. Okay. Especially if Adriana, if you have an auction in 6 days, that's a very, like, are you going to lose your house? What happens if you don't sell? I would love for you to keep it, but can you not catch up the mortgage? Well, if you can't catch up the mortgage, it's too late to do a loan mod. We're 6 days away from the auction. We're going to be 5 days away in the next 12 minutes, because at the end of the business day, you're losing a day, and continue doing that. Marissa just said, what is the book I'm working at? If you go to my Instagram, right here at TheCarolineCain, there on my link tree, I'll throw the link tree in here for you. My link tree has the reference for the books. It's called Asking Questions the Sandler Way. No worries, Marissa. So anyways, I want to make sure I'm getting all of this. Just believe and remember and remind yourself, write it down all the time. Have those alarms going off on your phone last take. And like when you're door knocking, especially, maybe you even have your journal with you, and maybe you say something, this wouldn't be a bad idea. Like, remind yourself, I'm going up here to door knock because I'm going to help a family. Like, if you just truly believe you're going in and you're helping, it's going to change the tune. You will have some people that are annoyed, that are a little like grouchy, but it's because they've been burned by so many people that are just wasting their time. So if you go in and you lead with value, it'll be completely different. Okay. Yeah, Katrina said, I love that book. I've listened to it, and that's what got our ball rolling. Great. I'm glad that yes, it's very repetitive. They repeat things a lot. I've noticed a lot of these books are repeating things so you can really retain it. But this book is so good. This is actually, I don't know if I did ask this, the ADD and trying to get this entire podcast squared away today. And I'd love to see, I see that we have 39 people watching us right now. 3 people are on Facebook, and there's 4 of us on Instagram Live. Hi, everybody on Instagram Live. I just want to know, I will talk to, hang on one second. I want to know if I started creating, I did ask this, but I'm going to ask it again. Could you give me a yes in the side chat on YouTube, on Instagram? If I started producing more content around how to overcome like obstacles with ADD, we would like to see that. Little like shorts, just little series, maybe even tips that can help you when you door knock, or you're afraid to do, like, because we're all afraid of rejection. Like, it's literally yesterday on my Instagram story, it's like, I'm about to door knock this house. It says, don't door knock it. It makes me nervous. Like, we all have to overcome that. Would that be helpful? You guys would like to see me doing that? Just let me know in the side chat so I can like start planning how I would do that. Yes, definitely, please, 1,000%. Okay. Mike Keller, what's up, dog? I love seeing you guys on here. Okay, cool. Sweet. Vess is my homie. If you guys are looking for somebody in NorCal to help you out with some Phillips, Vess is who you guys need to connect with. Okay. So I don't know how to say your name, but whoever you are, Solutions just said, any tips for dealing with a stubborn agent? Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Rapport is incredible. You need to build rapport with everybody. Building rapport and using people's names. So like today I did this on a Zoom. I showed people how to call the county recorder's office, and I got them to walk me through how to find the most recent data. How to real estate with ADD. I can even make that a thing. But you need to just continue to try and build rapport. Let them know that you're on their side. Don't talk down to them. Asking questions the Sandler way and going through sales, you use that on agents too, and it'll help you a ton. So build rapport, make sure that they know you are trying to help them out and you are going to buy this deal. Remember, don't lock anything up unless you have a buyer that's going to buy it. But that will help you a ton. So just make sure you have that in mind. Go in with value first. Okay, we're at 50 minutes. I actually just might end this podcast here early. I've kind of talked about all my thoughts. My bad. I thought I was subscribed to you and boom, done. Well, thank you, Joel. Yeah, guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. Please help me out with YouTube. I'm trying to make more content that I can help more people and reach more people. All right. I'm not seeing any questions. I'm going to go door knocking. That's why I'm going to wrap up here early. I am going to make up the podcast with Joshua next week. Miscommunication. I'm going to take the fault here. It's my fault. I should have done things. I knew Ingrid was traveling. But guys, please, when you're done with this video, if you have, actually, I'd ask you this, Joel and everybody. I know if you are subscribed to me, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I want to just help you guys out. I am actually doing a little challenge. I was thinking of people coming door knocking with me. I'm going to pick from my followers on YouTube. I'm trying to get to 2,000 followers before the end of June on YouTube. If you guys could help me and you could share this and just ask somebody to subscribe, tag them, please. But if you go to my YouTube channel, go to my website or whatever page it is, and I know it should say like a bell with a slash through it. Click it so you get notifications every time I go live. I do little lives during the week where I'll cold call. I've done some where I've actually thought about door knocking live. Maybe I'll just carry a microphone on me. I'm not sure. You guys can see me go door knocking, kind of talk about how nervous I am, how long it takes. Love it. Ryan said, let me know. I'll take a fight. But I'm trying to get to 2,000 YouTube subscribers before the end of June. We have, is it 30 days in June? We have 9 days left. If you guys could help me out, that'd be great. I'm at 930 subscribers. So I need to get 70 more. If you guys could help me, that'd be great. Have a great freaking day. Message me on Instagram if you guys need help with anything. I'm going to go door knocking now. Keep being consistent. Keep being disciplined. Keep showing up for yourself. Do this for the younger version of you. Do this for your kids. Do this for your parents. Do this for the homeowners that didn't know that they needed your help. How many people are ashamed and have their heads in the ground, the sand, and they're losing their houses to auction? Okay? Keep going. Don't stop. You're going to be able to help somebody. I know you will. Don't give up. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Explain It podcast. If you are not on our Facebook group, go to my Instagram. Again, here, I'm going to give you guys my link tree so you guys can have it because I told someone they could have it. Here's my link tree. I'm going to put this on YouTube so you guys have it here. Oh, wrong link. There we go. Here it is right here. There's my link tree on this YouTube live. You guys can see all the books I recommend. I'm going to just throw it up so it's on the video. Link tr.ee/TheCarolineCain. You guys can see all the books I recommend, and our Facebook group is in there. Click on our Facebook group, join our group. We do a lot of stuff, bonus things. Actually, you know what I'll do? If you guys want, this is what I'm going to do. I'll go live on Facebook Live when I go door knocking inside of our Facebook group so you guys can see what I do. The biggest thing is just going in, leading with value, asking questions and being curious, and just don't stop. All right, guys, have a great day. Do something for yourself. Do something for your loved ones. Most of all,